Liv Morgan is officially out of action for the remainder of 2025 following a shoulder dislocation that occurred during her match with Kairi Sane on Monday Night Raw. The injury required surgery and created a ripple effect across WWE, impacting not just Liv's career, but also the Judgment Day, the women's tag team division, and two major premium live events, Night of Champions and Evolution 2. At the time of the injury, Liv Morgan was still one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions alongside Raquel Rodriguez. With Liv out, the belts had to be vacated. WWE responded by crowning new champions Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. That pairing, however, was controversial from the start. Morgan and Rodriguez had been portrayed as close friends, and now Raquel was moving forward with a new partner. What made matters even more complicated was the fact that Roxanne Perez was simultaneously recruited into the Judgment Day. That move was approved internally by the stable in Morgan's absence. Reports indicate there was a vote on Raw, with Finn Baylor pushing for an immediate decision. Dominik Mysterio wanted to wait for Liv's input, but ultimately went along with the group under pressure. That moment could be the turning point. Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan were revealed as an on-screen couple at SummerSlam 2024. Liv was portrayed as someone who had essentially stolen Dominik from Rhea Ripley during her revenge tour. That storyline helped her get over as a chaotic and unstable force within WWE. But now, with Liv's sideline and Dominik going against her likely wishes, tension between them is bound to escalate. If Dominik feels regret over not waiting for Liv's vote or starts to clash with Roxanne within the group, he may walk out on the Judgment Day altogether. If that happens, the group loses its Intercontinental Champion and one of its most recognizable members. It would be a major blow, not just from a storyline perspective but also from a marketing and booking standpoint. WWE has heavily leaned on the group's cohesion for months. Raquel Rodriguez is another key factor in this story. Not only did she team up with Liv Morgan before the injury, but she also quickly transitioned into a partnership with Roxanne Perez. That switch could be interpreted as a betrayal. Liv may feel that Raquel moved on too quickly and abandoned their friendship, and if Raquel continues to hold the titles with Roxanne by the time Liv returns, it sets the stage for a major personal rivalry. WWE is reportedly considering this angle as a long-term storyline that could carry into Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. A vengeful Liv Morgan returning to take on both Raquel and Roxanne could inject a much-needed jolt into the women's division, which has been criticized lately for lack of depth and storylines outside of the title picture. Then there's Finn Baylor. As one of the original members of the Judgment Day, he's assumed the leadership role despite the group originally claiming to have no leader. His decision to push Roxanne's inclusion into the group, despite hesitation from Dom and Raquel, could come back to haunt him. He has a history of causing friction within the faction. J.D. McDonough, who has always stood by Finn, is reportedly not fully aligned with him lately, either. Sources backstage have said there's growing frustration within the group. Baylor's insistence on controlling the narrative has created internal tension. If that continues, other members could unite and kick him out, especially if Liv returns and aligns herself with Dominik and possibly even JD. That would split the faction and lead to a Judgment Day civil war. Another consequence is the credibility of the Judgment Day itself. The group has always operated on loyalty, unity, and mutual darkness. Recruiting a new member like Roxanne Perez without unanimous approval contradicts that image. Liv Morgan, who worked relentlessly to be accepted into the group, may now feel that all her effort was for nothing. That bitterness, paired with her unpredictable character, could fuel one of the most destructive heel runs we've seen from her yet, or even a babyface redemption arc. The WWE Universe is paying close attention. Liv Morgan's recent silence on social media has been interpreted as a brewing storm. Reports say she's furious backstage and hasn't communicated with any of the Judgment Day members since the Roxanne decision. There are even rumors of a backstage altercation between her and Perez. Though nothing has been confirmed, WWE may use that as fuel for future TV segments. The bigger concern for Judgment Day is the long-term fallout. Rhea Ripley, who is still out due to injury, remains a looming figure in this entire situation. Rhea has always been considered the emotional core of the faction, and with her not present for Roxanne's inclusion, there's a growing belief she will not approve. When Rhea returns, she will be forced to choose between Morgan, the woman who took her out, and a Judgment Day that has changed in her absence. That choice could define WWE's women's division heading into WrestleMania 41. If Rhea decides to rejoin the Judgment Day, she may push Roxanne out to restore balance. If she sides with Liv, It would flip the entire dynamic and potentially lead to a babyface alliance between Rhea, Liv, and Dom against Finn, JD, Roxanne, and Raquel. This internal instability could also damage Roxanne's career trajectory. She was brought up to the main roster to be fast-tracked, but aligning with a faction in turmoil might hurt her more than help. If Liv targets her next, she could be overwhelmed at a feud far bigger than she's ready for. Liv has proven she can play mind games and resort to unhinged tactics. Roxanne may be in over her head. As for the faction's future, if internal splits continue and WWE chooses to lean into the drama, we could see a full-on Judgment Day implosion on Raw or at Evolution 2. Rumors suggest a multi-person match involving all Judgment Day members could be in the works, with Liv possibly returning as the spoiler. And speaking of Evolution 2, this could be where the next chapter of the storyline begins. WWE has been teasing a massive women's faction war, and with all these moving parts, it's very likely that Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, and possibly even Rhea Ripley are all involved. Now let's talk about another trending WWE superstar, Tiffany Stratton. While Liv Morgan's injury and Judgment Day drama dominate headlines, Tiffany is quietly becoming one of WWE's most protected stars. She recently scored a big win over Shayna Baszler on SmackDown and has been featured heavily in WWE's Evolution 2 marketing materials. There's growing speculation that WWE sees Tiffany as the next breakout star to carry the women's division through 2025 and into 2026. She's already being positioned as a top contender for the Women's World Championship post-SummerSlam. If Liv retains her title when she returns, a feud with Stratton seems inevitable, and unlike her past challengers, Tiffany brings a mix of athleticism, arrogance, and in-ring storytelling that could challenge Liv in fresh ways. Backstage reports also indicate that Triple H is very high on Tiffany and sees her as a pillar of the new generation. If Liv turns face, WWE could build toward a long-form babyface Liv vs. Heel Tiffany program by the end of the year, possibly culminating at WrestleMania 41. It's also worth noting that Tiffany has quietly aligned herself with several heels in backstage segments, suggesting a slow-burn character evolution. So while the Judgment Day storyline plays out, don't be surprised if WWE starts planting seeds for Tiffany Stratton's next big push. And if Roxanne is ousted from the Judgment Day eventually, Tiffany could be next in line to join or even lead the female side of that faction. There's a lot of moving parts, but it's clear WWE is setting up Stratton for a big role. In conclusion, Liv Morgan's injury didn't just take her off TV, it sparked a total reshuffling of alliances, trust, and power within the Judgment Day. Roxanne Perez's addition is already causing tension. Dominik and Raquel are caught in the middle, and Rhea Ripley's return could flip everything upside down. Tiffany Stratton is rising in the background, possibly ready to capitalize on the chaos. WWE's women's division hasn't been this unpredictable in years, and with Evolution 2 and SummerSlam approaching, fans should buckle up for shocking turns, betrayals, and new alliances forming in the shadows. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more updates and breakdowns. Let us know in the comments, do you think Roxanne Perez will survive in the Judgment Day? Or will Liv Morgan destroy everything from the inside out?